Okay, welcome back everyone. So here we're gonna get into more details, and I'm looking forward to having James show you what he showed me. And this is where we get into the numbers part. So James, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, I'm super excited to show this. It's funny when I look at a illustration, an Excel spreadsheet with numbers, I get really excited. I know most people gloss over when they see it, but I'm going to try and make this fun and exciting for you. I'm going to go through each column. So this is actually an example of an age 35-year-old client, and this particular client in this situation. So we're going to go ahead and show a $1.5 million life insurance policy. Now this is the amount that would be paid to his beneficiary, which he chooses. And we have to pick a number because the amount of life insurance we're going to buy is going to allow a certain amount of money to go into it. And then once our client tells us how much money they want to put in, we might need to increase or decrease the amount of life insurance to keep it perfectly tax efficient so that it gives the maximum return, maximum internal rate of return. In this example, the client is actually going to be only putting in $22,000 of their own money. The lender is going to put other money in. So let me take it from each column. Here's the age of the client. So in the very first year, the interest rates currently for these loans, George, this is amazing, 2.75% is the cost of the loan. The total maximum amount of money that the life insurance policy will allow to be put in is $43,000. That's the maximum amount of money that we can put in per year. If we put in more than that, then we lose the ability to take out tax-free income. So we don't want to put more than that in. If the client wants more, then we buy more life insurance. But let's use this example. So the client is only going to do a payment of $22,500 the first year, and they're going to repeat that every year for 5 years. So the bank is going to put in the rest. So the bank's putting in $22,000 each year. But notice what happens after year 6. They put in the whole amount. They put in $43,000. So if we just look at the bottom columns, we can see there's going to be a total of $430,000 put into this policy, but you're only putting $112,000, and the bank is putting the rest. They're putting $325,000 into that. So let's see what happens year by year. First year, the amount of the loan has gone up from $22,000 to $23,000. That's that 2.75% interest after year 1. Well, let's take a look at the cash value. Remember I said every year we have more cash than the amount of loan? We have $39,495 of cash accumulated in that policy, and there's only an outstanding loan of $23,000. So right here, George, if a person wanted to cancel year 1, walk away, pay off that $23,000 loan, they would be left with the difference of $16,000, and it would not, what I say, blow up. If you're familiar with life insurance policies, and George, I know you are, most life insurance policies show no cash value in the first year. They show no surrender value. This is a true surrender value. This is you could cash in your policy and walk away. Now, we don't anticipate that we're going to have many people do that. Why would they want to? But you could. And so the monies that were spent went towards the cost of the life insurance and the other features. So that's how powerful this program is that you're seeing gains that are available year 1. Now, remember, you're not necessarily going to use this in year 1 because you're going to let it accumulate. That's the power of arbitrage. As this loan accumulates, and it keeps going up and up and up, the cash value is going up greater than the amount of the loan. Any comments so far, George, or questions?
Just phenomenal. Keep going. I'm taking notes here.
Great. So now what happens is that we look at what happened after 15 years. Client put in his $112,000, and then this is the amazing part because most life insurance policies are not fully funded after 5 years. This one's technically fully funded after 10 years, but your portion is done after 5 years. So now we are letting this money grow from years 10 through 11. But remember, the interest rate is still accumulating. So even though the loan we borrowed only $325, we're not paying that money back yet. So the amount is growing. And you might say, oh, that's scary. Well, no, it's not scary because the amount that's accumulating is growing. Now, we're estimating a 7% return. If we back test it for the last 15 years, we would show at a real rate of return, tax-free, of 7.96. So we're being conservative and only showing 7. In reality, some years it's going to be 0, some years it's going to be 13, just exactly like that video we did last video where we showed sometimes the market was below 0%, sometimes it was above 13%. So we're going to average a 7% return for illustration purposes only. This is not a guarantee. The results could be better or worse than what we're showing here. But the magic happens here. In year 15, we pull out enough money to pay off that loan. This happens automatically, George. It's not an option. The loan provisions are that they're only going to loan you money for 15 years because they want to basically make a loan to you for 15 years, let the cash value grow, and then pay off. Now, some people say, well, what happens if you die before that? Well, if you die, the death benefit is $1.6 million, the lender gets paid off, and the spouse gets the death benefit. So we're not going to talk about death, we're going to talk about living. So if we live, we pay off that loan, we're still left with $244,000. Now you might say, oh, I don't have very much money left. Yeah, but that money is arbitrage because you only put in $22,000 for 5 years and you now have grown that. You're never going to put another dime in. And we're just going to let that accumulate. And so as that accumulates, we're going to go to the next slide and see what happens. After 21 years, if we decide it's time to cash that in and just take away our money, we could do that. We got $418,000. So client's only 55. Is he going to be subject to a penalty because he's not 59 and a half? Absolutely not. This is not a retirement plan. We're not subject to any IRS rules. He could take all that money if he wants to go buy a boat and just cash it out. He will pay capital gains. So we're going to encourage him not to do that. If he wants to take 418, we're going to say, well, why don't you just take 375,000? Leave 50,000 in there. Let this policy continue. Don't give up on the death benefit and take that out as a tax-free loan. And you can do that. You can take out a huge chunk of money totally tax-free. Now, most people don't do that. What most people do is they want this to become an income stream. So what he does is he waits till he's age 65 and he decides, how much money do I have then? Well, at age 65, you've got 900,000. Well, 868,000 to be exact. Refreshing your memory, you only put 112 in. That's it. Have you done well? Sure, you got 168,000 of tax-free income available. The magic is you only take out what you need. So you're going to take out 103,000 a year. And guess what? You take out 100,000 a year. Do you think that your account went up or down? It went down a little bit, but not 100,000 down. It only went down about 30,000. So you're just taking out what you need to live on, and you're not really totally drawing the entire principal down. You're drawing some of it, but it's still accumulating. So let's see how long this will last. This lasts, in this example, it lasted 20 years. We took income all the way for a total of 21 years to be exact, giving him a total of $2,160,000 of tax-free income, and reminding you the amount that you put in was only $112,000. So incredible. Why did that happen? Because of the arbitrage. Because you used that lender. You did what my dad said, using other people's money, and you were able to allow that to grow and to accumulate. So that's how most people will do this. But you know what? I want to make it clear, this money is your money, and it's totally flexible. This column right here says your estimated net cash value after the loan's paid back. So the loan has been paid back, so anytime you need to access money for any reason, if you wanted to use it 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, it's 100% available to you.
Phenomenal. So there's so many things going on in my mind here, but I want to just point out a few things that are, I'm just going to think out loud for a second. So besides the fact that you have cash flow, 6 figures for how many years? You said 21 years?
21 years.
21 years, that's tax-free. What blows my mind is that you have a lot of additional benefits here that need to be considered. For example, one of the things you said is there's still death benefits. So it's almost like you invest in something and you get the death benefit for free, knowing your family is going to be taken care of, even though you're making a great return. Is that correct?
George, you're absolutely right. And there are so many benefits. Let's go ahead and show. Some of the benefits are, of course, what you mentioned, which is the $103,000 of tax-free income, a total of $2.1 million of income. And by the way, there was more money left. That's just what we used in this example. But during that time, had the client died at any time, we had a $1.5 million death benefit that would have been paid out. So not only would they have gotten the life insurance if they died, but if they don't die, but they just had an illness, look here in this benefit section down here called living benefits in this left corner. We have living benefits that will pay if they have a chronic illness up to $1.5 million. So this is incredible. If you literally had any problems with a heart attack, stroke, you can get up to $1 million, coma, severe burn, traumatic brain injury, paralysis, an additional $1 million, and then lastly, any kind of terminal illness, whatever it is, you can access up to $1.5 million. This is not taking away from that retirement money. This is literally both. So you could actually use this and still have that retirement income. And then lastly, there's one other feature that's really great. It's called a lifetime income benefit rider. And typically you've seen this only in maybe annuities, but you've never seen it in a life insurance product ever. This is the only carrier that does it. So let's say that you've got $1 million in your policy, and you are in incredible health. You're 70 years old, and you say, you know, based on the way things are going, I'm going to live to be 120 years old. That's 50 years. How am I going to make this $1 million last for 50 years? So you call up the insurance company and you say, hey, I'd like to exercise my lifetime income benefit rider, and they send you a quote. And they say, great, we're going to guarantee you this much income for life. Now you never worry about, again, anything. Remember what I said is the last thing you want to do is worry about your money? So this is a feature that allows you to literally lock in your income stream for life. So there's various different phases of a arbitrage life insurance policy. There's the funding phase, the accumulation phase, and the income phase. And one policy will actually help you with any of those phases and help you along the way, whether it's a need for medical attention for qualified benefits, or whether it's an emergency, or it's just a nice retirement gift you want to give yourself and buy a $250,000 yacht. You could do whatever you want with this program.
So really, just thinking numbers here, that when you talk about great numbers, we haven't talked about the internal rate of return here, but whatever that is, we have to really add, and that's tax-free, so we have to add back in what it would be equivalent to before taxes, and then you have to add all these benefits and try to put a number to it, because normally you would have to pay for that, but these are coming in for free. So it's almost like it's a stacked way.
You're so right. I mean, if you had to pay for a long-term care policy that covered all those benefits, if you had to pay for life insurance, like a lot of people will say that term insurance is the least expensive life insurance. Not true. I can prove you that this is the least expensive life insurance. Because if you bought a term life insurance policy for 20 years, yeah, that would be the cheapest for that 20 years. But the next 20 years, when you turn 65 and you buy another term life insurance policy to cover you from 65 to 85, you're going to eat up all that money that you saved. So really, the least expensive life insurance policy, the least expensive policy ever, is this, because it includes it. So what I did is I did run the internal rate of return. I used your structure here. So I showed the premium payments of $22,500 for